Oh, I think it's live. Oh, let's go. Okay, that's Slay. Let me just send out the invite link. Okay. Um, Pardon. If anyone's joining right now, we're just getting stuff set up a little bit. Let me go to the chat. Embed chat. Okay, it notified me that the stream is now live, which is a good thing because I was worried that we were gonna have a little bit of technical difficulties this time. Let me see if I can find where the chat settings are. Oh, I see chat now. Hello. Hello to all of our viewers. Welcome to our Samurais of Sound community stream, where we can talk about, primarily voice acting and the upcoming workshops that we have with our amazing, talented voice actor teachers, as well as things like sound engineering for music. Our studio does a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, there's a new viewer. Hello, new viewer. Let me see if I can see you in chat. Let me get the Twitch link up. Pardon. We're still getting the stream set up a little bit here. Oh, hello to all the new viewers! I don't know if you can hear it. I have a playlist going on very quietly in the background to provide some background noise for this, except for the fact that I don't want it to be too prevalent because we could get some copyright strikes. That has happened before, and then the stream is taken down. Okay, now I can see who joined. Let me welcome some people into the Zoom who might be waiting. Oh, we have participants. Hello. Let me turn my video on.
Hello.
Hi. It's so nice to see you. Would you like to maybe introduce yourself to our viewers? Maybe talk about a little bit about how you learned about Samurais of Sound, and maybe some cool stuff that you're working on, whether it's voice acting or any kinds of artistic stuff.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know I had to introduce myself.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry
It,
about that.
it's all good. Um, so hi, my name's Kaylee, and I actually took some workshops with Strawberry Hill many years ago, and kind of stayed up to date with them for a while, especially when I got my full time job. I'm a copywriter for a radio station, but because of my acting background and some of the uh, amateur voiceover stuff I was doing for like YouTube series and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
My boss was like, "So you know your way around a microphone?" I said, "Yeah," and so I can voice the commercials if I'm asked to, and if they think my voice would match that particular business, like our small town museum. I'm actually the main voice for them, so that's like
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, so I love getting to do that. It's so much fun, and I get to do character voices for some of our like on air programs, like Halloween and Christmas and stuff. So
Oh, that's
that's like
great.
yeah. So I keep asking if I can have clips because I kind of want those clips for portfolio reasons.
Yeah.
Um, but this is like my first community hub. And in terms of voice acting, um, I'm trying to branch out and be a little more professional. Like I've recently created a Blue Sky that's mainly to try to network a little bit, find some casting calls and stuff like that. I guess like one project that I'm a part of that like I was so happy to be a part of because it's like a dream come true is I'm a NPC character in the indie game Glide the Dragon.
Oh, that's amazing.
I play Vatila, this little water dragon, and when I found out I got casted in that, I was actually at my job when I found out, and I was like, I can't freak out about this because I'm at work. But I was like so excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I definitely I was really excited to hear you talk about the fact that you had been in some like more indie like animation related projects before because like that is an industry that is like definitely seeing a lot of popularity right now, and I'm so thankful for like all of the creators that are getting their work out there, even if it's not through like a big company or something. And yeah, we know a lot of our voice actors are participating in things like that. Um,
That because that's because when I wanted to get back into voice acting, it was something I was always interested in high school. But when I really decided to kind of sit down and be like, let's actually buy a microphone and like give it a try was actually during the pandemic when I was in
yeah.
grad school, and two like little indie YouTube series that I got casted in, I literally recorded off of voice memos on my phone
Oh yeah. I
and
used to
sent
do the
those
same
in.
thing.
Yeah, sent those in and got casted. Sadly, both of them have since been discontinued. They like one of them shut down after one episode because it was a little too much. The creator
Oh
burned herself out. But I still got to be like in the prologue episode of that series, and then the
yeah.
other one, same thing. The creator got burned out, but I got to help bring this character to life, and she's now migrating to tell the story in a different art form. So the story
Oh,
is still going to get told just in a different light.
that's
Um,
amazing.
but I love that out of all the characters, like I actually really loved that character in particular because I got to be a little bit sassy, but also timid and scared and all this stuff because I got to play this little lynx. It was a little lynx character named Lilith in a
Oh.
series called The Shadow Marked. And at first, when I auditioned, I was like, "Oh wow, this is gonna be so fun!" And then when I had my first like episode appearance, I was like, "Oh wow, this is literally me if I was a wild cat. This character was literally just my own personality if I was just a wild cat."
Yeah, connecting to those characters in that way and finding the like the ways that you can tell your story through them and the things that you know those characters can teach you about yourself as well. Or it's always really fun to be able to voice those. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh, by the way, for our viewers over on Twitch and YouTube or wherever you're seeing this, let me know if you can see the other people in the Zoom because I have been seeing that we might be having some trouble with the screen sharing currently, but we'll be sure to get that fixing if that is a problem. Okay. So next up, I think is Andrew. Would you like to maybe introduce yourself and some of the fun projects you're working on, whether it be voice acting, any other kind of art, that sort of thing?
Sure. Hi, my name's Andrew T-By, and I'm currently a voice actor in training with Strawberry Hill Studios. And I just became a black belt member 2 months ago.
Oh wow! Yeah, thank you so much for your support.
hmm And what inspired me to become a voice actor because it all started when I first met Christina V at Phoenixville, Philly 4 years ago. And when I first met her, that's when I had that spark that I want to become a voice actor just like her. And here
Yeah.
I am right now.
Yeah, having those voice actors that really inspire you is always
Yeah,
wonderful.
she's very talented.
Uh, next up I think is Vinny.
Yes, how's it going? My name is Vinny Ali. I'm a working actor based out of Philadelphia. I'm part of a hip hop group called The Chosen Few, the
Ooh.
144. I do voice work for them. I have a couple auditions lined up on the docket. I just joined Strawberry Hill Voiceover Samurai. I do Sean Ronnery on the role-playing game,
Yes.
which is a lot of fun. And it's what's it called? I got into acting because I followed a pretty girl to drama club, and I lost the
Oh,
girl and found the passion. And it was the only time of the day that my family would get together and actually, be a family unit when we watched movies and TV shows. And based on
yeah.
the way I look, I can only get so much work as a stage actor and a film actor. So I decided to get into more voice work. In 2020, I started my first podcast called Pulling Back the Curtain with Vinny Ali,
Oh,
a deep dive into the creative mind. You can find me on Spotify and YouTube. Just type in Pulling Back the Curtain with Vinny Ali. And I interview actors, writers, entrepreneurs to learn the secret of their sauce because I'm curious and I enjoy talking to people and learning what makes them successful, what brings them joy, what makes them tick.
yeah. Well, so everybody who is on the who is watching, please definitely go check out that podcast. And also, thank you so much for always joining our role playing streams, even though I don't participate in them. I'm always super excited to watch them as well because they're really fun, and getting to see all of the voice actors like improv, like show their improvisation skills and also show their like collaboration, cooperation with each other. Yeah, it's a really fun watch for anybody
I'll
who
definitely say though, like not this last episode, but the one before that, where we are captured by the Fae was one
yeah.
of the most fun I've had in a long time.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. That one was really fun. Um, okay. So, yeah, it still seems like it's not showing. That's strange. Okay. Yeah, apologies to anyone watching this stream if that seems to be a problem. Um, as you can tell, this time, uh, Austin is unfortunately not here, even though I have his name displaying on the Zoom. I'm Scarlett. I work as a social media manager and like an intern for Strawberry Hill Music. I I have previously hosted some of these streams where I have gotten to rant about how much I am a fan of all of the things that our studio has done, especially in terms of Cowboy Bebop with Yoko Kanno's music and the seatbelts. Um, so, yeah, unfortunately, Austin was not able to be here today. So you can change the name if you want on Zoom. Let me see if I can do that in case of any confusion. Rename.
Yeah,
There
so what
we
you do
go.
is there you find the three little bubbles and then
Yes.
not the bubbles, sorry. Da. Yeah, should be able to change it.
Okay.
Choose the three bubbles and hit rename.
Uh.
There
Okay.
you
I
go.
think it worked. Okay. Yay. Let's go. Um. So, I did want to maybe talk a little bit about the upcoming workshops that will be going on in the studios soon. Um. Let me see if I can. Oh. Um. Can the application. Um. Are people on the Zoom meeting able to see the website with the voiceover workshops?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So the last workshop that we had, which was super fun, was a workshop on anime dubbing with Karen Strassman, who voices such wonderful characters as Rouge the Bat in Sonic the Hedgehog, Colin Statfield in Code Geass, tons of super fun stuff. But our workshop was focused on Bleach and a lot of the iconic like voice monologues and things from Bleach, and uh, for that, we were also going into like the like how to sync up like your voice to the lip syncing things that are like very specific to like dubbing works from other places that have like already had the animation done and like that sort of knowledge, which was very helpful. Um, our upcoming workshops, there is another one with Karen Strassman coming up in October, which is our Creatures and Monsters voiceover. If you are interested in anything that is related to like wanting to diversify the type of voices that you'd like to do and being able to learn how to get in character for all sorts of fun, fantastical creatures, that is a workshop that will be right for you. We also, I know that Kaylee was talking a little bit about like receiving videos to put in a portfolio. We have a workshop about making things like portfolios and demo reels on August 27th with Austin Coffey, who is the person that wasn't able to be here today. He's an incredible sound engineer, and he does all sorts of wonderful composing and songwriting things and things like that. So you will get to work on your demo reel and how to edit it in programs like Audacity, and be able to get tips on how to show your diverse range of voices and showcase what voices you are best at. And the last of the ones that are currently scheduled is being a casting director for a day with the main casting director for Blizzard, which is behind titles like Overwatch, Diablo, World of Warcraft, all sorts of wonderful titles like that. And you get to be put in the shoes of someone who is a casting director to find, this in this masterclass you will find people that will, have the star power to bring characters to life and talk more about the directing side of these works. In terms of the demo reel stuff, also in our membership, let me see if I can navigate to that. There are specific benefits related to the demo reels. We can, if you are a member, you get to get your demo reels critiqued, or we can also assist with the production of the demo reels themselves. And as you can see, there are also all of these other things that you get from a membership, such as access to our workshop of our vault of many of or all of our past workshops, as well as discounts on our upcoming ones. And there are also specific courses. As you can see in our resources tab, we also have courses that are made by like famous composers like Kevin Penkin, or voice actors like Morgan Berry, that you can also receive through our membership as well. So there's a ton of resources if you're wanting to get into voice acting through that. One thing that I wanted to talk about, let me stop sharing the screen if I can figure out how to do that. Okay. Wow, Restream is really not showing me anything. Okay, that is fine. We will figure it out. We can do this. One thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of the workshop for creatures and monsters is one thing. Oh gosh, I don't know how. I have suddenly become, even though like I am honestly, compared to all of the amazing other voice actors that are in our list of voice actors, I am very much still, on the amateur side of things. But like in terms of practice, I seem to have been spending most of my summer that I'm not at school being the kind of person that like spends all of her free time learning to do like impressions of all of the characters from the media that I'm hyper fixated on. I know a lot of voice actors can relate to that sort of thing. And like it gets to the point sometimes in some days where it sounds like I'm like doing an impression of my own voice once I shift back into it. Are there others who are maybe inspired, who like to do impressions or are inspired by the voices of any particular voice actors or media currently that is sparking their imagination lately? Okay, I'll go with Vinny because I think.
Well, Jim Cummings put it best. If you can do an impression, that's great. But if you do a bad impression, that's a brand new character.
True.
So that's the big thing that's been for me. Like, I do my Sean Connery impression. It's not great, but it's a brand new character. It's fun to do.
Yeah, I think honestly that was very impressive, but also yes, the little bits of your own inflections that you can put into it can add something of your story into like pre-existing characters, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about a little bit. But I will I'll oh, somebody entered the waiting room. Uh Hello JC.
Oh, hey.
Hi. Do you maybe want to introduce yourself to our audience? Just say your name, like a little bit about how you learned about Strawberry Hill Studio, and maybe some of the fun projects that you're working on right now, whether it be voice acting or music or any kind of art.
Well, of course. My name is Giancarlos. You can call me JC. I've been voice acting, training under voice acting since 2022 or 2023. Under first Joshua Seth. Then I met Karen Strassman through Ria Voice LA. She was one of my biggest inspirations.
Yes.
And still in Strawberry Hill, up to this day, I managed to train under three this year, including Wendy Lee.
Yes.
And right now I am And then right now, how to say is I am doing voice. Right now, I am doing a Byzantine choir as my progression helps, and then I am planning on being a translator in English and Spanish since the Philippines is learning Spanish again. So that way, I can help anime and other shows appeal to those countries. That way, it can encourage them to learn more languages against that way because of the tourism over there. So when there's
Yeah.
tourism, you have shows that help appeal. And the same thing goes for Vietnam with the French again. So that way, if you have shows that appeal to them, that way it will help out as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Seeing as someone who has been in the anime fandom ever since I was pretty little, like seeing the globalization of it over time and just how much the audience has grown to become something
Mhm.
that's like so internationally loved
Mhm.
is really amazing. By the way, is my audio cutting out? I'm worried about because like it keeps saying that it's only flashing green sometimes. I think that
Your
might just
audio
be
is
for the
fine.
visuals.
Oh, your audio is fine. Oh yeah, Andrew, I'm not Filipino, but I do know Spanish. That's why I'm helping out
That's
because of that right
amazing.
there. So that way, it's like it builds a bridge into building a wider global community for houses, for anime, TV shows, and video games. So that way, it's like the people know the local language, and then they know two more languages to help them give wider opportunities, and maybe establish studios there one of these days. Because I am going to be translating in Japan from English and Spanish.
Yes, I just know you will be able to achieve your dreams. So yeah, if
But
there's, we will make sure to do our best to support you in that in whatever way we can. And like, I was especially like excited coincidentally when you were talking about Karen Strassman because we were just talking a little bit about one of the upcoming workshops, the Creatures and Monsters workshop with Karen Strassman that's going to happen in October, and talking about like doing impressions of characters that are different from like the range that you usually do, or like making your own like fantastical
oh,
fantasy creature and monster characters. I think there were some people who raised their hand to talk a little bit more about that.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Kaylee,
And hello again, Kaylee.
Hello,
Hello.
it's good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Back in my studio, but it's like not in the road.
But yeah, like to go off of that, because I guess where I discovered like my love for like wanting to do voices was actually through, and this is gonna sound like so niche because it's such like a little niche fandom. Was actually through the Nancy Drew PC games that were created
Oh
by Her
wow.
Interactive. Because somebody who I did take a workshop with through Strawberry Hill, and at the time when I signed up for it, I didn't know it was her, was Lonnie Manella, who is the voice of Nancy Drew from
Wow.
games 1 to 32. And I didn't know at the time when I signed up for it. I just saw like, oh, like she did the clickers and The Last of Us and stuff. And it was a workshop on pitch, like how to find like your highest voice that you can do and your lowest voice that you can do. Because at the time, like I was playing around with like doing this like kind of young adolescent voice in a way, and
Like
I
the
was like,
shonen
oh
anime voice.
yeah, like so I was like, oh, this will probably help me a little. And then I think I like told a friend to like let them know like, hey, I'm going to be in this workshop on this day. It's with this voice actor. And when I said the name, she was like, oh my God, I loved her in Nancy Drew. And I was like,
I
what?
was like, what?
So then that's when I realized, oh my God, like I am literally about to take a workshop with the person that I like copied a lot as a kid. And I then found out that not only was she Nancy, but she was like all of these random character voices in the games, including a parrot named Lulu, who I
Oh,
copied a lot. And so when I was in the workshop with her, I actually got to do my Lulu impression because one of
oh,
the
that's
scripts was like a
amazing.
parrot. So I was like, "Rah, who's a pretty bird? Who's a pretty bird?" Like she was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is like really good." But that's the person I was copying a lot from like 10 years old to now was like Lonnie Manella.
Yeah, one of the things that I've really admired about taking these workshops is like being able to like also like show your gratitude and give back to the the creators that inspired you, and then they in turn inspire you to create your own characters that will inspire others, and it creates this whole cycle. And seeing like our aspiring voice actors go on to inspire other people as well is it's always really amazing, and it really warms my heart. um
It does.
yeah, I think oh, Andrew has a hand raised.
Well, I could do pretty much some character impressions too as well. Like I can do Stitch, like this, like Ohana means family.
Yeah.
Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Oh, excuse me for my language, but me now, Krista.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I've been paying attention how Chris Sanders does the voice of Stitch, because when I was a kid, I was like a huge fan of Stitch, and I was trying to mimic how Chris Sanders does the impression. So it took me a while, but I nailed it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I can do like the Godfather, or like Elvis Presley. A one, a two, a one, two, three, four, a three, a four. Yeah, baby.
oh, it looks like JC commented that one of the voice actors that they were able to meet was Ben Diskin, and I coincidentally I went to the Fanime convention recently, and
Mm.
I was also Ben Diskin was a guest there, and I
Wait,
was
you were at how to say this? You were at Jacksonville?
oh I was at the Fanime that was in San Jose, which is like closer to where our studio is actually located
Oh,
a
I was
little
about to say
bit.
because it's like I met Ben Diskin and he was explaining how he did his voice for Stitch and he sounded exactly like the movie version. And I told him I appreciated Stitch, which was a sequel by Madhouse Studio. And honestly, I feel like if it would have gotten better commercial success, I would have felt like it would have been better received. I mean, I still like the show.
Oh, was
Wait,
that
is it the
the
one from Stitch and I, or something?
Stitch from Madhouse Studio.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
heard.
remember there was a Stitch anime that I think people were talking about at one
Yeah, there
point.
was
Is that the
like
one?
two ones like from China and one from Japan.
Yeah.
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 When I my random Ben Diskin interesting factoid is that I am someone who has always been a huge fan of the Muppets and anything from the Jim Henson Company, and
Dibs.
apparently I had learned that Ben Diskin in the newest reboot of Muppet Babies voiced Gonzo, and Gonzo is my favorite Muppet. So finding out that like a voice actor that I already admired was like carrying
Mhm.
on the legacy of that character in that way was really fun.
Mhm.
Fun fact, did you know that Cookie Monster and Master Yoda share the same voice?
Oh, Frank Oz,
That's
right?
true.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard of him. Yeah, he's very good
Yeah, he's
Close friend.
incredibly
Yeah.
skilled.
and very close friend of him. Yeah.
And then it's like I know that Thomas Kane also did him as well. He did a very good Frank Oz impersonation, but it's like he couldn't continue because of a stroke that happened, which is like,
Oh.
and that's understandable. Like I saw Steve Bloom host him one time, and it was like, I'm
Yeah.
glad he's doing
Steve
fine.
So someone else is taking care of being Cookie Monster, Fozzie Bear, and Oscar the Grouch, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, because I guess one of my like Ben Diskin facts is that I met him, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago at a small convention in Texas that he came at. And me and my friend who went only at the time knew him as Sai from Naruto.
Oh.
And who's like one of my top 5 favorite characters from the Naruto
Nice.
series. I have a soft spot for Sai. And
Mhm.
when we walked up there though, like to meet him, me and my friend were looking at his table because he was meeting another guest at the time. So we were just like looking at his table at all these characters that he voiced. And we looked over and my friend like nudged me and he goes, "You didn't tell me that he was in Codename Kids Next Door, that he was number
Yes.
1 and 2."
Oh,
And I
yeah.
went,
Yeah.
and I got whiplash from like how fast I turned around. Like, what are you talking about? Because that was like my favorite show growing up on Cartoon
Mhm.
Network. And when I asked him about it, he was like, "Oh yeah, no, that was me." And I ran home and dug out of me and my sister's old DVD chest the first ever DVD they ever released of that show. It was like
Oh,
the
wow.
first 10 episodes in a cardboard case, and I took it back to the con and had him sign it because I was like, "You don't understand how much this show means to me," but absolute sweetheart.
Mhm.
And then my friend spent the rest of the day of the con like looking up everything else that he is in because that was just a shock to us. And we found out he was like in all of this stuff and
And JoJo's
Um,
Bizarre Adventure.
yeah, like
Yes.
all of these shows. And I was like,
Digimon, and yeah.
yeah, like I was like,
The
that's
Beastars.
talent.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
He was the voice of number 1 and number 2.
And then I remember I told him I used to think that Caesar Zeppeli was voiced by Richard Horvitz, but then I realized it's just that Bryce Papenbrook just sounds like him when he yells.
Oh.
Because then
You're
it's like
kind of
that would
right.
because then it's like it would have been a perfect way to analyze him and Billy together.
Oh, yeah. I
Oh
see.
yeah.
So what about Vinny? He looks tired. How are you, Vinny, doing?
Oh.
Don't mind me. I just worked the nice 9 to 5 jobs, and just cup of Joe just kind of wore off on me. It's 8:30 my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it could be worse. You could be sleeping on the couch.
Oh
Oh.
no, I've done that. Been there, been through Airbnbs because my credit score was so low.
Mm.
So all good though. I'm happy with my place. I'm just not really sure what to add because I'm a little older than you guys. So like you're
Yeah.
kind of in my range of cartoons I grew up with, but kind of not. I'm a
Oh.
little more earlier 90s. I mean, I watched all through the 80s, all through the 90s and 2000s, of course. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to like DC animation and such. And I
Nice.
just like to listen to you guys. Like I met Kevin Conroy one
Oh,
time,
really?
and I was cool, and it was cool. Like like he was everything I wanted him to be.
Yeah.
And when I went to his Q&A, I asked him, by question I asked every single actor I ever meet, what got you into acting? And he
Yeah.
spent
Yeah.
12 minutes explaining to me his journey. And Batman was the first voiceover job he ever auditioned for. Took like 50 times or whatever, like all people, but he got it. And he was the first to understand the dichotomy. There's the man, and then there's the mask. And who is he really? He is the mask. The
Right.
man is just his facade.
Yes.
Anyway, just sometimes I'm more of a listener when you guys start nerding it up because I just enjoy it.
Yeah, and I get that, And with the cons, like after I saw, people like JDF pass and stuff like that, it's like, it inspired me to go to cons, because it's like I never know if these guys have tomorrow. I met Peter Cullen, who did Optimus Prime, and he also did Eeyore, and he made the vocalizations for the Predator by mixing
Wow.
crab noises, by mixing boar, elephant, and noises right there, which actually would be helpful for monsters and which I'm actually studying for the monsters and workshop with Karen Strassman. The nickname that I give Karen is the only Karen that matters because of how she because of how say she has helped me with my potential, my classes, and then realizing that one of her roles in Bleach, which is Momo and Soifon, resonated with me a
Yeah.
lot. So it's like that's what earned her that name right there, the only Karen that matters.
The only care.
I got a question for you guys, just in general. Like, we've talked a lot about going to cons and everything. Like, do you
Yeah.
think that you would want to be known for one voice that you go to cons for? Is
Um,
that something you would want to have, or would you rather keep the anonymity and only be like
I
known by the
mean,
right people?
pretty much, but yeah,
Only one way to find out because it's
yeah,
like I'm not there yet, so only
yeah.
one way to find out.
Because we're all voice actors in training, so we're just trying to reach up to the goal to become actual voice actors. So
Dude, we are voice actors.
We are
Just
voice
because we're
actors.
Yeah.
not paid doesn't mean we're not voice
Mm.
actors. If
Mhm.
you're doing the business, even
Mm.
if you're doing community theater, you are an actor. Whether you're paid or not is up to the universe.
Okay.
Amen.
That's the thing. And we have to stop this whole I was called out on this whole aspiring actor. No, no,
Right.
dog, you're an actor.
Oh.
Aspiring nothing. You do the thing, you are the thing.
Mhm.
And that's something you got to get out of your system if you want to get anywhere. Because who the hell's going to take you seriously if you're like, I'm training? No, you are. If you are doing work, you are what you are working on.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a full on nerd right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
made a
okay.
vision
Yeah.
board. Made
Oh.
a vision board,
Wow.
and on the top of it, I have Steve Bloom.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Bloom
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
I suppose the biggest thing I learned is that I'm in it for the right reasons. I love my job as much now as when I first began. I still feel fully invested in every audition, every job, large or small, every appearance, every meeting with every fan.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we do this.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
do this because we enjoy the work and we are voice actors. I mean, I
Yep.
always say I work all the time, but I'm not paid a lot. But I'm still an actor, period.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Words. Very good.
Anyway,
Just
Yeah,
having the
yeah, 'cause-
courage to take the first step and do what you love, even that in itself is important, and you should take pride in that, and you know, be think of
Yeah.
yourself as a voice actor just for that.
Yeah. You know, and I definitely think like one of the things I took to heart when I wanted to start kind of taking this seriously was when I did like a little mini workshop at a con with John Swayze, who I know does a lot of voices in anime. Like I know him as Undertaker from Black Butler. A lot of people know him as Crocodile in One Piece, and like the community theater in my town. I actually saw his daughter recently perform at this local community theater that I'm at. She was in a production a few months back. I did like a mini workshop with him, and something that he said to all of us that were there and like participating was that he said something that he kind of says is, if you don't look stupid doing it, then you're not having fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
facts,
yeah,
facts.
yeah. So he was like, if you walk into the booth and you just stand there, say your lines, and then leave and collect the paycheck, you're not having fun. He goes, have fun with it. And he basically was like, do you know how many funny faces I make in the booth to try to get into character? And I was imagining was like, oh yeah, like for a lot of these probably real serious characters, I could see him like making the faces to do the voice and like having fun with it. And something that I do, and I think it just comes from the years of doing high school theater and then going to college and getting a degree in theater, is I find myself whenever I'm recording auditions moving my hands and actually being energized like with my auditions and like having fun with it, because that's something I took to heart from him, since it was like the first workshop, even though it was like a small mini 1 hour one that I ever did for voice acting. And that's something to this day I still take to heart. Have fun with it. Even when I record my commercials for my job, I go into that booth and I'm sitting there with that mic just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, you know, the standard in film and TV is copy, credit, food, and voice work. And a lot of times, directors, cast directors forget that. So the only thing that they can't take away from you is your experience. And that's the only way I've been able to survive 22 odd years of doing this thing, is because I get ganked a lot, but they can't take away the growth I've had and the experience I've gained from this.
Yeah.
So to all you people that are streaming and whatnot, You got to do this thing because you enjoy the work. You enjoy stretching it and building. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're just screaming into a piece of metal for fun, which can be fun, but you have
Yes,
to
and
enjoy it.
yeah, that is true because I remember whenever I talked to Karen, we talked about how sometimes certain characters there are certain emotions that we have felt. I don't know if you ever heard of Italian opera or theater like Pagliacci, where
Yeah.
basically Pagliacci basically is where they first start the play. It's like these are real emotions by real people sometimes because the director based it off of a story where two Italian brothers got arrested for the unalivement of his lover for committing infidelity on him. And
Oh.
basically when when the main star Pagliacci puts on the makeup in the one scene, he basically he's basically forced to put on a mask even when performing after discovering his wife's infidelity. And then during the play they thought that the village thought that the clowns were just putting up a play when he was asking who is the lover, and then obviously right there it ends in tragedy right there. So Pagliacci is a very good example because everyone has felt a sort of happiness, sadness, bitterness, anger, any sort of emotion right there. So it's like you feel what the character is feeling right there will sort of resonate right there. You don't agree with certain methods, obviously, but obviously you can relate because everyone has always felt something from that character, or
Right.
you have in one point related to something, maybe not to a greater extent, but something that makes you want to right there. And that's where it's like I look at it with the voice acting right there. We've all, it's like it's sometimes emotions done by real people, like not like how to say it's scripted, because then we're gonna sound like the teachers from Charlie Brown going womp womp
Yeah.
womp 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 womp. It's not gonna be how to say this. It's not gonna get people's attention. Now, if it's raw emotion that has actually been felt, that's what's gonna catch people's attention because people want real emotions by real people.
Right. There's something
It's just having a conversation. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yep.
exactly.
And figuring, I mean, my three rules are what do I want? What's my way? How am I going to get it? And you can take any story from Star Wars to the Scottish play Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
Lion King is just Macbeth with lions.
Yeah.
Let's be real. No, Hamlet. It's
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
It's
Yes.
Hamlet with lions.
It's Hamlet with lions. The uncle kills the dad. The uncle tries to kill the son. The
Mm.
son comes back to fight the
Mm.
uncle to take back his place. It's Hamlet. He even talks to his dead dad as a ghost.
Mm.
So all I'm saying is you're on the right track. I mean, we have the opportunity to help people cathartically go through emotions they can't process as a kid.
Mm.
I mean, when I was a kid, I couldn't stand up to my bully, but Batman could. And he taught me to just stand your ground, face him down, and it's helped me get through the day. I mean, I do WWBD. What would Batman do in situations because of Kevin Conroy?
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of that. I mean, I've been reading Rob Paulson's book, and he is really big into humanitarian, like being human. He has this wonderful TED Talk, if you get a chance to watch it, where he talks to Don Cherry, one of the greatest hockey players of Canadian lore. And Don Cherry's like got a line around the corner, and this one guy's like, "I'm so sorry about this." He's like, "No, I've worked too hard for this privilege. I've worked too hard for this privilege so I can provide this for you." And to me, that's like the ultimate. I don't care if I'm ever De Niro, Pacino, Paulson famous, but if I can help one person come out of their shell and feel seen and heard, that's a win.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's my soapbox.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. It was one thing that I'm, of course, because I'm also kind of nervous, but just because I'm not sure exactly how to word this, but there's something just very empathetic about like the kind of storytelling that you do as a voice actor, because you get these characters that are sometimes like, you know, they're from all of these fantastical places and all of these sorts of fantastical beings, and like you know, it seems a lot of times even like that they have completely different personalities from the one that you have in real life, and you might not on the surface think that there is something to relate to in that character, but like when you look deep down into the story and you find that there are these like universal feelings there, I guess, that resonate with you, it's always like very powerful to be able to tell that story and maybe to like inspire other people. And also like even from in characters that are that you think at first are so different from you, you can like bring bits of yourself and your own experiences into it, and that's what like makes it so powerful. And like even in the inverse, because I know that we were talking about like being known for one specific type of character, it's like even in situations where someone might be typecast as one specific type of character, like finding like what each director and what each story like brings something new to maybe that archetype that you didn't see in it before, and like really, I don't know, honing in on that and like relating to it is like, I don't know, it's a very powerful
No,
thing.
it's empowering and it's fun. It's why we do
Yeah.
this. I mean, like Marcus Aurelius once said, "You don't step in the same river twice."
Right.
Like the look at okay, I'm gonna do it. Kevin Conroy's evolution of Batman from the animated series into Batman Beyond, where he's old man Batman, where he's more Batman than he is Bruce Wayne. Like you can have those nuances grow with you as you age. And even if you reprise a role, you're going to have different energies and different experiences to pull from.
Yeah.
That's what makes acting so fun. Because like the one thing about acting, I will say that is different from all the other arts is the older you get, the more interesting you get. Because I mean, like look at anyone that becomes a father, anyone that becomes a mother, anyone that becomes an uncle. Like
William
for me,
Shatner.
there you go. Well, what I'm saying is like you just get a deeper understanding of things. Because I became an uncle, I can play father roles much more easier, and I can just have greater protective instincts because of it. That's just one of my experience. And like I like where you're going with Scarlett, that like we need to just embrace the opportunity as it comes, and different directors will have different views of how to do things, but it's always exciting, and that's always just like energizing when you vibe with a character, especially when the audience is like, bro, I went on a journey with you. That's the greatest compliment I've ever experienced ever. I went on a journey with you.
Yeah, because another voice actor I can think of that's just like that, like you watch his performance, like you're watching the character go through this whole journey. I don't know if anybody else will agree with me. Is Dante Bosco as
Dante
Zuko?
Bosco,
I met him.
Dante Bosco
Fucking
as
G. I
Zuko.
love that guy.
Yeah.
Have you read his book? His
No,
book
I
is
need
phenomenal.
to. I met him
it's
this
90
past
pages.
February, and he told me about it. And I was like, I need to read that then, man.
It's a great short read. You would really, I vibe with that thing so hard. I've had to read it 3 times. I was just so stoked about it. It's like, this is an ethnic actor that has gone through everything. And one of the biggest things that like his one passage about how he got into a teacher that was into huge worship. That is something that we have to be very careful about. Like some teachers are like all about, you can only do things a certain way.
Yeah.
Her influence leached into everything he did. And that story helped me make a left-hand turn from taking this one teacher in the past 3 weeks. I was like, I am not about to have this individual leach into my life like that.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Your turn.
No, it's all good. No, like I just wanted to say that because like this is gonna sound so embarrassing. Avatar: The Last Airbender came out was coming out when I was a kid. All my friends were watching it. And I could not catch the episodes in time. I lived with 2 other sisters, and we always would fight about what we wanted on TV. And when it came to Nickelodeon, if it wasn't SpongeBob, iCarly, or Victorious, they didn't want to watch it. Yeah, they did not want to watch it. So I didn't get to experience Avatar: The Last Airbender as everybody else did. I didn't watch it all the way through until 2023, 2 years ago. I finally sat down and watched it.
But here's the thing. Because you are older now, you get to experience it the way much deeper than ever before. Like the layers. I will watch Iroh Wisdom lo-fi. while I'm working, just to hear him talk about how important it is to live in the presence and to find out what do I truly want in my life? What's my path?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I tell you, my path has been crazy, but like I'm sure your path has been crazy with being a lynx, and your path's been great. Everyone's path is different, and it's all about just figuring out what you're willing to do for it. And I listen to Iroh. I admit it. I listen to Mako tell me how to live my life on the daily.
Exactly. Yeah, but I just remember watching like all of book one and instantly fell in love with Dante's performance as Zuko.
Yeah.
I immediately was like, I don't know what I'm watching right now, but this is like so much more than just him playing this character. I feel like I'm watching a story unroll in everything he's doing. And then from book 2 to book 3, I just was blown away with it. And I just remember texting one of my friends because I told him, hey, I'm finally watching Avatar. And he would check in with me like, hey, where are you at? Like, have you gotten here yet? And all I kept texting him was, dude, the voice acting in this show is phenomenal. Like, it's so good. I was finding it hard to believe that this was a children's show with that good of voice acting.
Not only that, the writing was fantastic, and it just made you think. It was thought provoking. I mean, that's the genius behind, and it lasting so long. And Iroh, one of my favorite thing Iroh says is, if you take knowledge from one source, it becomes stale. But if you take it from multiple, you can incorporate it. Like when the lightning bending, that was water bending. A Fire Nation general that has been around the block like hell of a time is learning from his sworn enemy how to do something. That's why I like doing voice work, stage, and film work, and everything else that I do, because you could pull different things, nuances into the thing. I don't get to talk nerd very often, so like I am like this, like combining like nerddom with acting is like my happy place. So thank you guys. This was totally worth not going to bed early for. Totally worth it. I'm an old man.
I need to wake up at 4:30 before the day begins. Because that's when the people need me. I gotta make the donuts every day.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yes.
This is why I wake up in the morning. To just get on the mic, to get on the stage, get in front of the camera, just something. Because like, dude, this place is it's one place that makes sense. Everything else is just like I'm just biding my time.
Yeah, so it's like, because it's like the one place where I can actually feel like myself, because when I go to college, sometimes I see people who are 40, 50, or old enough to be my dad or my granddad, and then some of them tell them that because they made the decisions that they were under peer pressure and they couldn't, how say this, build the courage or how say this, consciousness to feel confident with their decisions. And honestly, that's what got me into the voice acting. It's like, I'll continue my side jobs, but the voice acting is gonna get me where I want to be, alongside my animation and stuff right there, because it's like I actually feel fulfillment right there because of the fact that I'm not forced to do something I don't want to do. These are characters I can relate with. These are things I can unite people with, because it's like, I respect other people's professions, but it's like, if in a time of where people want to, have pissing contests that don't get anyone anywhere, it's like, it's not worth it right there. And I honestly feel like voice acting and animation brings people together because it helps people realize they're not really so different from each other. It's like, look at me, my grandparents came from Spain in World War II, my cousins came out of Cuba, and then it's like my godparents came out of the Balkan Wars and how's this during how's it Middle Eastern War. So it's like, I already have enough of those divisions in my life from experiences from other people. I don't want other people to have that in return. I want them to, I'm not saying there's no right to feel frustrated or angry at the world sometimes, but at the same time, there should be a sense of, thinking twice before anything else, because this sort of art brings people together. It's not just a profit thing. It brings people together to realize that you're not really different from each other, and certain characters can have redemption arcs like we can, and that's what I love right there. And also, Scarlett, I haven't known about you, at least. So could you catch me up with you?
Okay. I think I prefaced a little bit that I went into the studio initially through they had courses for high school students when I was back in high school, and they still do now, for music production and for learning how to start a career in music. And as soon as I learned that these were the voice actors and the musicians that worked on things like Cowboy Bebop and Made in Abyss and like all of the soundtracks that I was like already idolizing so much, and it was right here, like near me, like it was just an honor to be able to participate with it in you know, in any way, shape, or form. And now I'm getting to intern with them for marketing, and I also it's helped me a lot and inspired me to pursue, you know, writing my own songs and producing my own music. That's primarily what I've been doing. I'm kind of just starting out in terms of like actually trying to pursue the voice acting part of that journey just through like fan sort of like independent content. But like, yeah, it's been an amazing experience all around.
Yeah, it's a very amazing experience so far. It's like I said, things are not overnight processes, and honestly, I like to challenge expectations because of the fact that it's like I said before, this community has brought me more joy than I have with anything else I've worked with right here. And this is what I like. And then the fact that I'm gonna get an opportunity to translate for the Japanese directly
Yeah.
is a very big deal for me because of the fact that, you know, it's not only a place where I can, you know, it's not only a place where I can have cleanse of mind for my voice acting, but it's also where I can finish my education and also show my true purpose as well. And that's why I say right there, never feel forced to do anything you don't want to do in society because then you don't want to be a bitter old man at the
Right.
end of the day.
That didn't get a
And that's
chance
what
to
it
do
is.
something that
Mhm.
you love.
Yeah, because then there's people, it's like, and when I saw that going to college, is I saw people who are almost old, like grandpa age, and then it's like it's like they almost keep telling me like never do anything you don't want to do in life because that's what they did. And it really struck me because it's like, you know, I saw a lot of people who are either divided, people who are either not so up there upstairs, or some people who just don't realize it's okay to be human and not always. It's like if you fall over once, it's like it's not a matter of how you did it, it's a matter of how you can get back up right there. And that's what it is. And that's the thing with the voice acting industry. It's like with Karen, like she relates to a lot of things that I have in my life, you know. She, you know, similar struggles, like similar doubts, similar people like that. And that's where I resonate with her a lot because it's someone who walks the shoes that I can walk, someone who I can look to as an inspiration when, you know, doubt gets in my way. That's what I love about, you know, when I got into Strawberry Hill. Like, you know, Joshua Seth, I'm thankful he introduced me, but it's like, you know, it's like when seeing Karen's characters like Momo or Soifon, it's like I knew there was something deeper right there because she portrays that character as if she felt this before, and that's what I love about Karen right there. And it's like, and that's why I'm happy to help Strawberry Hill Studio.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who is supporting our studio and going on this voice acting journey and making those first steps, because like I don't know if this is like a weird thing to say on here, but like there had been a lot of times like before I like actually wanted to like before I had taken the steps to like request, you know, to volunteer with the studio and everything, where I had almost like I felt almost like I wasn't, well, obviously I still do have a lot to learn and a long way to go in this sort of stuff, but I felt almost like I wasn't deserving of like taking those first steps or making a start in this because I wouldn't be skilled enough.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, or I wasn't skilled enough.
You
at
have
the
a wicked
moment.
bad imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I could measure up or anything like that, or I didn't deserve those opportunities. But just like just know for all of you that like no matter what character you're telling that story through or whatever, your story is important and your expression of yourself is something that will be helpful to so many people, even if just like one person is moved by that story. Like your story is valuable and important, and just like as I said before, just taking the first step to like, no matter whether it's through like fan content or like doing impressions on YouTube or anything like that, like just sharing your voice in any form like that, you are deserving, and you are loved, you know.
You guys know that they do voiceover challenges on TikTok, right?
Yes, I've seen
Yes.
those.
They are super fun and super good at sharpening the saw.
There are a lot of like projects also that I've seen start on TikTok, like in terms of like, we were talking about theater stuff, and I was reminded of like, you know, things like Epic the Musical, where they auditioned
Yeah.
people over TikTok, and like finding
Yeah.
those communities through social media has increasingly become a larger thing. So even
Has Been
because-
Hotel. I mean, look at Has Been
Exactly,
Hotel.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like-
Has Been Hotel was a big one.
Dude, like they freaking got exploded after the pilot finally dropped on YouTube, and now they're on Amazon. I think they're on season 2.
They're
Season
working on
2, yeah, season 2 is supposed to come out, but then like they dropped like a major announcement where they got greenlit for like, I think, a season 3, and then
Yep.
Hell of a Boss was
Boss.
going to get moved to Prime as well, so
Yeah.
episodes were going to come out more of Hell of a Boss as well. So when I heard all of that, I was like, this was a small little indie project that got kickstarted and it got moved to here. I said, that's a pretty big thing. And now a lot of projects are trying to be that.
Yeah.
Like they want to be the next Has Been Hotel.
That plushie is very
And-
cool, by the way.
It's all theater. I mean, like the what's really fun. I was just having this conversation about Has Been Hotel like an hour ago. It's super violent, super raunchy, super theater.
Not
Yeah.
for
And it's
kids.
got Broadway
It's so
singers,
theater kid.
but
Mhm.
it's a theater kid's. It's what if a theater kid had money. That's essentially what it is. Because when you have all the big spectacle stuff, but then you strip away to where Angel just breaks down
Yeah.
of why
Yeah.
he is the way he is to Husk. That's where that's the whole crux of the whole story comes from. It's about relationships. Look at Hell of a Boss. I mean, Blitzo is just dying to be loved. He's
Yes.
dying to have someone appreciate him, and he treats everyone like crap because he needs them to prove that he's actually worth it. So he pushes and
Yeah.
pushes and pushes to see who will actually stay with him. That's the genius behind VisiPop and A24. They're finding human stories in the most ridiculous, fantastical settings.
Yes.
I mean, that's the beauty of theater. That's the beauty of film. You can take every story is just two kids having a conversation in a sandbox. Sometimes it's in space. Sometimes
Right.
it's in a living room. Sometimes it's in the ocean. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It could be a monster and a human. It could be two monsters that have limitations of how they communicate and the way they interpret things. But that's all it is. And that's what the beauty of doing Strawberry Hill Voiceover Samurai is. The D&D workshops for me is fun, is because you get a chance to tell the story. You get to have your secrets slowly be revealed, and it's like it's the best type of stories, in my opinion, are when it unfolds. You don't know what's going to happen next. The Trey Parker and Matt Stone said it best. This happens because this happens, but this happens, therefore this happens, but this happens because this happens. It's not and then and then and then. No, it's because or but. That's what I love about good storytelling. And Strawberry Hill Voiceovers, Voices and Choices gives people the opportunity to do that, which is fun because I never know what I'm going to walk into. Like, we don't even know who's going to be in the campaign until the thing shows up. And we don't even know who, and that's the joy of it. It's the unknown. And I think that when you as an actor are willing to go into the unknown, it makes you stronger as a person. And that encourages the audience to say, hey, if this guy can do this, then I can do this.
Yeah.
That's
You
the
know.
thing. Like, that's why
Yeah.
I know. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just conversating in different skins.
Right.
And you can make it as esoteric and as deep as you want. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. If that brings you joy. But for me, I just enjoy the fact that, like, we get to put into practice what we've been working on. And I like the when the D&D thing comes up every month, I am giddy like a schoolgirl. I race home from work every single day so that I am ready, I'm primed, I got my coffee, I got my notes, I got my uh metal dice. I'm ready to just lock and load and see what happens next. And I'm such a nerd. I listen to Tales from the Stinky Dragon, which is a podcast that follows a campaign of people playing D&D from Rooster Teeth. So
Oh.
they're very good voice actors and very good storytellers to kind of get the idea of like how D&D works, the mechanics and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, what were we talking about again? I got a little
we,
sidetracked.
we went from talking about like good storytelling, like bringing up like Has Been Hotel
Yes.
and like all the good storytelling, but because
Yes.
I was about to throw in there like because something that I was like a huge like advocate for, still kind of am, just because I know like a lot of people have different views. Video games, since that can be a way into bringing
yes.
like voice acting.
Come on, son. That has evolved so much. It's
It
like
has.
Arkham Asylum. I mean, look how much mocap they did for that. That was
that was a
huge.
lot. Yeah, but because like a lot of the games I have seen come out in the past 5 to 10 years, I have been like, my first video game was Spyro the Dragon, and I hold that near and dear to my heart. That's how old I'm showing my age here. Like,
that's your first game?
That was my first
shut
game.
your front door. My first game was Nintendo NES Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. Okay.
Yeah, that was my first game.
Tetris was my first game. Oh.
But to see the games that have come out in the past 5 to 10 years, to have some of the most beautiful storytelling I have ever seen in my life, because I'll get to the one I wanted to bring up, but because like my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy 15. And the reason I love that game so much is I picked up that game after my first year of college. I was in a rut. I was like questioning, am I on the right path in life? Am I just doing this because I want to do it and I'm not listening to everybody around me telling me you should go to college for this, you should go to college for that, you're wasting your skills going for this degree? I sat down, I played this game, I went on this journey with these characters, and at the very end, I really took a lot of what these characters said to heart, especially accept the consequences and never look back. And I live by that to this day. So I tell people that game literally saved my life, because after I finished it, I just ignored what the universe was telling me and I stayed on the path I already set for myself. I went and got my bachelor's in performance studies, then went on to do grad school because I was scouted. I wasn't even planning to do grad school. My school scouted me and gave me the offer, and I took it. And yeah, I took it and then went and got my master's and just lived by that for the rest of my life. And then like I got to see and then play a game. Like, I don't play D&D. It's something that I tried to get into, wasn't my cup of tea, but this game has kind of tried to make me come back to it, and that was Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
like,
God.
I remember sitting there playing that game. I knew nothing about this game, just the characters. Like, I knew Astarion, I knew Shadowheart, Halsin, like I knew about some of it. I didn't know what the plot was. I didn't know the backstory of these characters. I didn't know anything. And when I sat down and started playing and I was learning all of this stuff about these characters, I was like, this is some good storytelling. This is like TV show style storytelling.
You came in the golden age of TV. There was a whole 15-20 year span where TV shows just served a purpose. But when like the writer's strike happened, that's when we got our Breaking Bad, Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire. All the shows on USA Network, I will argue, were bangers. From like that's the thing. And anyway, I just yeah, dude, Baldur's Gate. The cast of Baldur's, I watched them at a panel once talk about their path. They're like, I never expected I would be covered in balls and wearing gray spandex. I thought I was just gonna do stage and film, but they ended up there. That's the beauty about this art. You never know where it's gonna take you.
Exactly.
And they pick up their ball and they ran with it, and that's where they are now. And BT Dubs, they actually do live campaign of Dungeons and Dragons with the cast, and it is amazing. Astarion is so charming and entertaining. He's like, I'm really bored. Let's start a fight.
Fight.
What do you mean start a fight?
I'm up for this, but can I just have one drink?
So it was about you. And it was so just like satisfying to watch the joy as they're playing off each other in real time. I mean, like, that's the cool thing. Like, I'm so glad that David Austin Coffey does the whole voices and choices, because it is essentially voice actors. Like John Barenthal was taught how to play Dungeons and Dragons in a clip, and it was explained best. It's just the storytelling, collaborative storytelling. This big burly dude was getting into it because he's an actor. And when when you realize that this is just all training for it, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Exactly.
Sorry, but yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, banger, flat out banger.
Yeah, I literally like roped so many of my friends after I played it into playing it, like including my old college roommate who was like, nah, D&D. She's like, that's like, eh. I sent her this game and I said, this will make you change your mind. This will make you change your mind. And she was like, all right, I'll play it. She came over to my house. I set it up. I got her all started on a new campaign. She created her character. And I said, knock yourself out. And she looked at me and she goes, so what do I do? I said, anything. You can do anything, man. It's your story. I was like, go ham. And she was like, okay. And then made so many choices that I didn't make, and I just sat there and let her do it. I was like, this is your story, man. Like, go nuts.
Yeah. And then we're working on Echoes of Eternity, and honestly, this gave me an idea to send Austin, a fan script of mine, to see if we can, to see if we can do this idea of mine, which is basically like a prequel to Bleach, but in like basically sort of like a Rogue One / Halo Reach, because I always noticed that a lot of people have been liking anime and video games lately, and it's like, and when I saw those two films, it allowed me to see what made those special, but it also allowed me to see what led up to the events right there. So basically, I love those types of stories because those are very underrated, because it not only just shows you what makes the story special, but what leads up to it right there.
Yeah.
And personally, it's like I can't wait to show him. I'm gonna show him a quick draft right there and see where we go from there. But this is what I love about the D&D as well. It allows you to experience writing your own character how you want it right there. And character development, abilities. Yeah, Andrew's idea of turning something into fried chicken wasn't the best, but hey, it was.
I was running out of ideas. I was like, let's do with that.
I got a question. Do you guys have bucket list roles you've always wanted to play?
Yes.
Yes.
Kaylee, go. Let me hear what you got. I am dying to hear it. What's your thing?
Oh my God. This one. Okay. So there's this anime. It hasn't been dubbed yet. It's old. It's a few years old, and it's called Gukure Kokori-san. It's so, you've heard of it? Oh my God, it's so unhinged. And I want to play Kohina, the main MC of this show, because she talks like a robot. Because she is like, I'm a doll. Like, it's very like monotone. And she's obsessed with cup noodles. And I was like, oh wow, that's all I ate in college. That's perfect. But
there you go.
She's like at the top of the list for like roles I want to play, because my roles have constantly changed because I can't keep up. Like, I'm like over here like, maybe before this show gets dubbed I will be in the directory. Boom, show gets dubbed. Okay, maybe next season show gets dubbed. Okay. But she is still like at the top of the list because the show has not been picked up for dubbing. Its DVD rights are owned by Sentai Filmworks, but there hasn't been any effort to turn it into a dub. So I'm hoping that I can like send like something in and be like, I kind of want to play this character.
Yeah.
Because I just think it'd be so fun, and it would be something I could show my family and be like, look, I did something.
I did a thing that you would be proud of.
Like, I did a thing, and they could sit there and be like, you show no emotion. That's the point.
That's the point. Yeah, I
You
really hope that
you
show
are
gets dubbed now because
Hmm.
you should go
yeah,
for it.
man.
Totally.
You're servicing the script,
Hmm.
Yeah.
servicing the text. That's what it is. Because that's exciting. What about you guys? What you got? Like what roles
Well,
you always wanted to do?
well, there is a few of them. I always wanted to do Akira from Devilman because I was one of the first characters I
Yes.
drew, but it's also one of the characters I liked. You know, my father liked Devilman growing up,
There you go.
and obviously that's one of them. Red Hood because I feel like he doesn't get represented in DC a lot, so it's like it would always be nice to, interpret the anti-Batman to Batman's rogue sidekick slash rogue, and then I always wanted to do Moon Knight as well because Moon Knight is like an unhinged Batman, and it's like I don't care what anyone says, bipolar unhinged Batman is just as entertaining to me because of the fact that it allows him to explore MPD, it allows him to go beyond the limits as well, and I feel like Moon Knight is very relatable right there. So it's like I would want to do that as well. Ichigo, I would like to do from Bleach, if
Yeah.
there's any chance, or any character from Bleach right there. I wouldn't mind that. So, and that's really what it is right there. The main antithesis on my bucket list to do
That's fair.
so. So it's like like audition over and over and over again, like with Echoes of Eternity, and that's what I love right there. It's gonna give me an antithesis and the the necessities to basically do that in the future. But by the time hopefully by the time the strike is over, Warner Brothers can actually, fix themselves. But it's like I said before, I it's like I said before, either that or I do probably Mega Man or Mega Man X or Zero because like those are
Nice.
characters I would love to do in the future because I know they've had great voice actors before, but it's like if some of them don't reprise, it's like I would like to show what made them special to me as a child. Like, give my own take, but also remain loyal to their take as well.
What about you, Scarlett? You got any bucket list roles you've wanted to try, wanted to explore?
Um, one like it's kind of like I guess a specific type of role, but if I ever get to participate in anime dubs or things like that, I would love to be a part of either like an idol anime or a band anime or one of them that's like any idol from those that's like very tied to the music because like the thing that got me into anime and the thing that is now like taking me and allowing me to study abroad next spring semester in Japan for school was the fact that I've always been interested in like translating the lyrics because I was inspired by the music from these idols and these bands from these anime and I was
はい、日本語ですか？
まだ下手だけど頑張ります。
はいはいはい、すごいすごい。わ、私は勉強in UCF Central Florida ですか？
何年ぐらい勉強しましたか？
うんふん、はいはい。はいはい、私の弟さん、弟さん勉強日本語、私は勉強、勉強、時はお酒ですか？
ああ、偉いですね。実は、
Your Japanese is pretty good.
Thank you. 実は、高校に行きながら、マリン大学で、2年ぐらい日本語を勉強しました。そして今、UC バークレーで勉強しました。
はいはい。
let's see. Konnichiwa. Yeah.
Andrew, what about you, buddy? What you got? What roles have you always wanted to play?
Well, like for anime, mostly anime though. I like to do like comedian anime, or like if like one of those normal guy voices or something, like the main characters, or probably like video games or whatever. But mostly, I like to try like podcasts, or for commercials, or for trailers, any kind of voice acting job.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that makes
Mostly,
sense.
I like anime, but yeah, because for anime, I could do like maybe like expressions, or if a character reacts or gets scared or nervous or something like that, or if a character's like dealing with an annoying character and he has to like fix the situation. Something like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like any typical anime, but yeah.
Hey, dude, it's your wheelhouse. Is what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna force you to do Shakespeare because you don't want to do it. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy. Go for it.
Yeah, I could do a little bit on Mario. Like, it's a perfect. Whoa.
But like, what kind of characters excite you? That's what I'm curious about.
What
Like, what kind of like the types of characters. Like, you said you like doing comedic ones. Do you like ones that are like off the hinge, like out there in outer space? Do you like the more like this guy is so dumb he doesn't realize he's dumb, or he's pretending to be dumb type characters? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Well, mostly because since I'm meeting Charles Martinet next July, I meant this July though. I like to try to do probably this guy over here.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Charles Martinet was born in France and he moved to Catalan, which borders France and Spain.
Wow.
And ironically, he does not know Italian, but he does know Spanish and French.
Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide.
And mostly like one of the characters that Christina V voiced, like
Yes.
Rosca Mayday from Hello Boss. And like some other voice actors I want to try and meet, like the voice actor of Princess Peach
Yeah.
and other characters. But mostly I want to meet Chris Sanders, the voice of Stitch.
Yeah.
So bad. I really want to meet him, so I can share my Stitch impression to him.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I really hope we get to do that.
Hopefully. I don't know like if he attends conventions, but
I will admit that there's one voice actor I wanted to meet. I would love to meet Mark Hamill.
oh, me same here. Yeah.
I think
the reason-
everybody would want to
Yeah.
meet him.
Yeah.
But here's my reason for meeting him. I would want to like challenge him to a Joker off doing Shakespeare.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh, pardon
wanna-
me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Then like see like if he would know Shakespeare and if he would throw it back at me. Because
Yeah.
like I think the best way to introduce like harder stuff is by making it fun.
Yeah.
And
Oh yes.
if you have like these voice actors do older text, it'll get people excited about it. I mean, like there's Rob Paulson has a great show where he will do scenes from movies in character with other voice actors. Like he does the Star Wars episode. No, they do the scene from
Revenge
Heat.
of the Sith.
Revenge of the
They-
Sith. You're right. They did that one. I think he did that. It's like oh God, who did he do it with? He did it with
He did it with
Seth Green.
Seth Green
Yeah.
As
as
Oh,
his
you turned her against
Pinky.
me.
yeah,
You
he was Pinky.
You turned her against
You
me.
turned her against
Let her go. No.
No. That was so good. I fucking love that guy. But no, like for me though, like my bucket list is obviously Batman. Love to play Joker. Leo Bloom from the producer, Stanley Kowalski from A Streetcar Named Desire. Anything that's broken and battered and bruised and just still moves forward, those are my favorite. I love anti-heroes, of course, but I really like the ones that, they know they're limited time on this earth and they just don't have patience or time for people.
Mhm.
Those guys I like because flawed is fascinating, perfection is boring to me. I have the hardest time doing hero monologues. I don't know about you guys, because every time I do them, it's like, I'm gonna go fight this guy. It just feels so forced. But if I'm like, playing an evil guy that says, I'm going to tear you apart, limb from limb, until you watch yourself bleed.
Yeah.
That fascinates me. And it's more fun because it's just more like a whiplash type of thing. But as much of a hero as I would like to play it, a wordy hero seems like a little out of my realm at the moment, and it just bugs the hell out of me. I don't know about you guys, but like those roles bug me. I'm like, I just can't find it for whatever
No.
reason.
No, I get that. Like, cause yeah, like Kohina is like kind of a semi-hero and hero, but she's mainly just this deranged character, sort of. Just
Right.
like
Yeah.
I mean, the
Dude.
whole first episode is spent beating the crap out of the fox demon. She herself summoned in her own house, like with a lightsaber. Like, I'm not joking. She's like, oh yeah, this is like from my ancestors from a long, long time ago. Beats the crap out of them with it. And but other than that, like, I would love to just do a villain role. Like,
Villains
I would
are
love
fun.
I would love to be a villain in a Square Enix game. I would love to be a villain. I would love to be a villain
I
in
actually
Final
met George
Fantasy.
Newbern, and he signed my Final Fantasy copy of Advent Children.
Oh,
I met him too, and he terrified me as a kid as Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 2. I have nightmares.
Mhm.
So when I met him and shook his hand, like we were introducing each other, I straight up told him after I said my name and he said who he was, I was like, "You gave me PTSD as a kid."
And then he was
Nice.
also Superman as well.
I know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and like
some
I made a
versatility.
video on TikTok that then like blew up. It went viral of me. I put like when you're about to meet the voice actor behind your childhood nightmares, and it was the Sephiroth like in the
Mhm.
background. Everybody was commenting, "Why are you scared of Superman?" I was like, "Listen,
There's a little bit more going on here than you realize.
yeah.
exactly."
I
But
think like that's the fun thing, man. You just so it's because it's just your voice. You have infinite possibilities of what you can
Exactly.
play and audition for. It's just,
Mhm.
but like what I really enjoy is like when you put a reason behind why the villain is the villain,
Right.
why they are the way they are, and then like you kind of root for them in certain moments. You're like, wait a minute, no, but at the same time,
Like Doctor Doom, for
There you
example. Like I remember Stan Lee's when he created Doctor Doom, he said that it's not illegal wanting to rule the world. It's not illegal for what you want right there. And plus, he has diplomatic immunity, so it's like he can
oh
hurt.
God, yeah,
And what I love about Doctor
diplomatic immunities.
Yeah, and then plus he's the
Freaking-
first Romani villain to ever exist because like Doctor Doom is of Romani descent.
Right.
Because I always notice with certain villains, there's an archetype of Romanis because they don't have a home because remember they escaped India because of the caste system.
Yeah.
And in Street Fighter, it's revealed that M. Bison is of Romani descent. That's why he is Street Fighter the World Warrior hints at him because he is the World Warrior because a lot of Romani people travel around the world. And then if you look at Doctor Doom as well, it would also make sense because obviously Doctor Doom is someone who does heroics through villainous ways, even if it benefits him. And obviously,
villains don't think they're evil. And then
Right.
the good ones never do. They just think what they're doing is just like, making a sandwich.
Mhm.
It's
And-
just what they do. The most terrifying villains to me is like Hannibal Lecter because
oh yeah,
he's just simple. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this thing, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
He's gonna care for something. I mean, man,
Yeah. Like
this is a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
Mhm. So what announcements do you have for us, Scarlett?
Yeah, thank you so much to everybody who joined this stream and for sharing all of your amazing voice acting stories. It's been really amazing to hear from everyone and your voice acting perspectives. Yeah, I remember you were talking about our upcoming the audiobook, like the Echoes of Eternity thing that we're planning on. That is something that I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. And and that is actually not only voiced by some of our famous voice actors that we work with who have voiced other beloved characters, but also from some of the voice actors are also like community members within Samurais of Sound, which is really exciting. And I will I guess I'll put it on the screen again.
My Instagram.
And you said you're also studying abroad as well. That's no way. That's very nice.
Yeah,
The
I'm
ro-
gonna be studying abroad in the upcoming spring semester in Kyoto. I'm very
Yeah,
Lucky.
looking forward to that.
Oh, good luck. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
gonna
you
be
so
studying
much.
abroad as well, so it's like we might catch each other.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can put the announcements back on the screen here. Um,
And if any of you are watching our animators, please go back and watch our D&D and animate it.
yes.
Maybe make them into
Make
puppets
some
like Stinky Dragon
animatics or
does.
something.
Because why not? There are
Yeah.
some fun moments that happen in the show.
Yeah, so some of the to go over again what the upcoming like voiceover workshops are real quick. There is one on creating a demo reel with Austin David Coffey, who is an amazing sound engineer who also works on composing and songwriting and all sorts of amazing things, and he will help you in terms of editing your demo reel and also finding which roles are the best for you to showcase and to diversify it and also show what makes you shine most. We have the creature and monsters voiceover, which is really exciting in terms of like finding your own voice with all kinds of like diversifying your voice range for all these fantastical kinds of characters. I'm really looking forward to that one, especially with our wonderful Karen Strassman, who like I said, voices Rouge the Bat and Sonic the Hedgehog. Like we were talking about Bleach. She's also in multiple of the Persona games. And we have this is the last one here, which is being casting director for a day, which allows you to learn more of the tips and tricks behind the directing side from the top casting director for Blizzard for things like Overwatch, Diablo, World of Warcraft, etc. So yeah, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. For those who would like to share some of the projects that they're working on, before we leave, do you want to maybe give a little shout out to some of those things too?
Yeah, I could share my YouTube voice acting demo from my YouTube channel.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I see people are putting some stuff in the Zoom chat. Oh, people
Yeah,
have some. Vinny has some music stuff as well. That's amazing.
yeah, and I'm gonna share mine in 3, 2, 1.
I wish I would be able to put stuff in the restream chat.
I'd share my YouTube, but it's mostly Let's Play videos, less voiceover auditions, but
Let's
hopefully
plays are fun too.
like okay,
Share all
I'll
the
drop it
content
though.
that you have.
I will drop it.
And on my Instagram, I will work on a YouTube channel, but I mainly do like how to say this cosplays. I made art for Karen Strassman for her birthday, and then I
Wow.
do voiceover memes as well. I I am how to say this building a group chat in on Instagram like to build up some voice actors who are interested. Like whenever there's news out for certain roles or certain things, we can always alert each other. Help each other grow, and that's what I do right there. And then so far right there, it's like the next workshop I'm gonna work on is an accent workshop I did learn English is my second language next to Spanish. Like I say, Puerto Rico's like the Australia of Spain without the kangaroos and without the big ass spiders, thank God. And then I am learning French as well, and I am a part of choir, so it's like I do chanting in Latin and Greek, so it's like it allows me. And being in Florida's melting pot, it allows me to see different people. So it's like it's easy for me to pick up on certain accents and dialogues right there. Like, did you know, lad, that the Jamaican accent, lad, is a slowed down Irish accent, man. That's basically what it is because a lot of Irish people went to Jamaica at the same time, right there, and that's why if you see people with red hair over there, they're Jamaican. I mean, they have of Irish descent. Even Irish beer is made over there.
Yeah.
Oh.
They even have Chinese Jamaicans over there as well, which is interesting.
So, in the chat, I put a short episode of my podcast on there where I met Kevin Conroy, me doing my Joker impression, doing Shakespeare, and a song that I'm featured on with the 144 Chosen Few.
Wow.
Okay.
I do it was a crazy. If you want to hear the whole story, you gotta listen to the podcast. But essentially, I was working the day job. Guy comes in, he starts shooting the breeze with me. He's like, I'm making music up the street. You should come through. I did. He found out I do voice work, and he was like, "You gotta put something on this track." And we recorded it in one night. I wrote it all, and took over a year, but now it's out in the ether. I'm trying to make that thing go viral, so they'll invite me
Yeah.
back to do more for it.
For me, I have my Instagram in there, which is mainly mostly cosplay stuff. So cosplay photos, convention trips, any type of cosplay work that I'm working on. With the occasional like me posting on my Instagram story of like auditions and stuff. I have my Blue Sky in there, which is strictly for voice acting. That's where I'm trying to stay more professional with that. And then I have my YouTube in there where I post sometimes song covers, even though they suck, but hey, and let's play videos. I have several series going on over there right now. I have Final Fantasy 15, the Nancy Drew games, and Baldur's Gate 3 all currently running right now. And yeah.
Yeah,
That's
thank you
pretty-
so much for sharing all this stuff. I'll be sure to put it in the chat here for everyone to see.
Yep.
Yeah, Scarlett, but who helps you teach you Japanese? Because Raj knows Japanese very well.
Yes.
And right now I'm learning from Father John, who basically who knows Russian and Japanese and English. So it's like I'm so far learning from him
Oh,
and
yeah.
my school.
It was really interesting, like hearing on other streams about Raj's stories about living in Japan and like connecting with the composers over there. Yeah, I had initially just like started kind of self-teaching myself through honestly like a bunch of anime and Vocaloid songs and that sort of thing. But then
works.
in high school, I stayed at the College of Marin to like for my language credits at the same time as I was going to high school, and that allowed me to choose it as my what I'm now majoring in at UC Berkeley. So yeah, I'm very honored to be able to be a part of that program there. It's a very, very good like all of their language programs at UC Berkeley are very extensive and very helpful.
Yeah, I studied Japanese for 2 years when I was getting my bachelor's because we had to have a language credit, but I'm so rusty. So when you guys were talking, I was like, I understand what they're saying, but I don't trust myself to say anything because I'm so rusty right now. My teacher, both of my professors were so helpful. They one of them, she originally lived in Kyoto and then moved to the state that I live in with her husband, who's from Germany, to teach. And then my other professor, he lived in Japan for a few years, but he's originally from the States. He was my first Japanese professor. And on the first day of Japanese 101, he said, all right, he goes, I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the way. Raise your hand if the only reason you're here and taking the language is because you watch anime. And like half the class raised their hand and I didn't. And he looked at me because I had an anime t-shirt on at the time. And he looked at me and he goes, put your hand up. And I was like, I'm not going to, sir, because that would be a lie. I said, yeah, I watch anime, but I like to travel too. Yeah. And I would like to learn the language to be able to read the signs and be able to communicate in restaurants and the convenience stores and wherever I go. And when I said that, he was like, okay, I'm going to like you. So pretty much, I was supposed to study abroad when I was in grad school because one of my performing arts teachers who teaches a lot of Japanese performance at the college that I went to, I took both of his classes. He pulled a couple of strings to get me on the performance in Japan study abroad trip that was going to happen in the summer. He was like, you're going to teach the underclassmen with me, and then we're going to have one-on-one class time for your grad school credits. I was like, oh, great, perfect. A kid realized he signed up for the wrong study abroad trip and dropped out before winter break, and they pulled the plug on the trip because we went from 10 students to 9 students, and we needed 10 in
Oh.
order to go. And he couldn't find anybody to take that student's place. So he was like, I know it's not Japan, but you want to go to London instead? And I went, okay. And then we didn't get to go to London because the pandemic happened. So
Have you guys ever tried using Duolingo to help assist your daily thing? Yeah, I Duolingo Spanish and French every day. It's very helpful. My Spanish, because like my boss was like, "Yo, you learn Spanish, I'll give you a raise." I'm like, "All right, cool, I'll learn Spanish."
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there.
yeah,
Yeah.
my general manager, I guess, was talking with one of the DJs at the radio station that I worked at, and I guess Japan got brought up, and I happened to walk in the room right at that moment.
Nice.
And because I was dropping off some papers, and she was like, Kaylee, I got a question. I was like,
Ooh.
okay. And the DJ was there, and this DJ and I joke around a lot too. So this was like super funny. She was like, you know Japanese, right? And I was like, hi, Nihongo wo benkyo shimasu. And she was like, and she looked at the DJ and she goes, see, say something to her and she'll know what what you say. And he's like, konnichiwa. And I was like, konnichiwa to you too. I was just like, is that all? Like, because I then just went off on him and he's just sitting there like, I have no idea what you just said. He was just nodding like he knew what I said.
Language is very fun. It
Oh,
opens
yes.
a lot of doors.
Yeah, being at any point in learning a new language, even if you're just a beginner, like helps like you learn so much about like the culture and the different like perspectives as well, like in terms of like the ways that those like words are being used, and I guess how they differ from
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
My cousin, fresh off the boat, learned English watching Sesame Street and Disney Channel.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how I learned as well because like English isn't my first language, and honestly, it's like I, watching anime, watching the shows are very fun right there. And yeah, it's like Duolingo does help, but I do study with other people that know the language because like, when I do Greek chanting, I realize there's lots of people around me. There's Greeks, there's Ethiopians, there's Slavics right there, and it's like, and luckily, like, since I went to the parish in Nicolaido, it's like I'm more than happy to help translate for them because of the fact it's like because of the fact that they remain loyal to the language that they're given, the traditions that they're given, and that's what I love right there. They don't harass anyone. That's what I love about learning the languages over there because it allows me to not only blend my skills in acting, but to use those for my outside skills, but also it's like Greek and Latin are a very beautiful language. Like if you know more than one language, your DNA can actually change if you know that.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, the another one of like the fun parts of like being a part of voice acting, especially when it comes to like anime dubbing communities, whether you're like part of the voice acting itself or directing it or translating it, is that like, the idea of like globalization and sharing like these stories and these differing perspectives from like all over the world with like other, and like spreading them internationally is like something that is always like an honor to participate in.
Oh, most definitely, especially when you look back and realize, I guess like when anime was being distributed overseas and like how hard it was sometimes for them to
Yeah.
get this far, like because that's kind of a whole chapter I had to do for my grad school thesis was
Oh.
like the history of
Yeah, it's like-
anime because
because we were learning that earlier animes were a little more violent and unhinged, so they had to like build that rating of what's appropriate, what's not, because like anime has varieties of action, comedy, romance, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. There, the G rating, PG rating, PG-13, and R rating. So obviously, not all of them are going to be the same. So
You can put a string of words together and type it into Google, and it'll find you an anime.
Right.
That's
pretty much
that's how like I've seen wonderful sketches. They would say the whole thing and like, yeah, it's this anime, yeah, it's that anime, it's this. I'm like, that's yeah.
Yeah, there
It's
was
that's I mean, that's one thing I like about anime is that like there's something for everybody.
exactly.
it's true.
It's just like
You
another.
just gotta be willing to do a little work. And one of my favorite trends on TikTok. It's like, yeah, like they're just watching an anime together. Like, what anime? Oh, they're just kids watching a kid show. It's fine. What's happening in the scene? Did you watch it? Did you like, oh no, it looks so cute and kind of like
But
They're watching Madoka Magica over there.
yes,
exactly. No,
that's
exactly
exactly what they were watching.
Oh.
It's a comedy bit, but yeah. But I was like, oh.
No, you realize like how scary, because I used to be a substitute teacher before I got the job that I have now, and I thought, okay, I live in a small town. Surely these kids are not gonna know anime. I made the mistake of having my substitute teacher badge on a Naruto lanyard, and that opened the door for so many conversations. And at first, like, these kids were like, oh, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Sailor Moon. And I was like, okay, y'all are cool. Like, y'all are, because those are good starters. But then I have like a fourth grader walking up to me and knowing what Death Note is. Yeah. And I'm like, pump the brakes, hold up. Death Note? And they're like, yeah, Death Note. Like, I like Light Yagami. And I'm like, you should not be watching that one, but okay.
I actually had the FBI called on me for the school one time just for liking Death Note.
Oh, wow.
And the funny thing is they knew what it was, and it was an overreaction. And obviously it's like, years later I told, father what happened. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with liking the show as long as you're not aspiring to that. And basically it's like, he said the school for doing that is ridiculous. It's like you've seen people who said worse things, and liking a show is not going to make you like that. Like, for example, if you watch Psycho, that doesn't mean you have mommy issues and want to go out and do the same thing. If you watch John Wick, that doesn't mean you want to put a pencil through someone's head right there. It's like, that's ridiculous right there. There's always going to be a controversial thing in certain medias. As long as you don't aspire to that, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But it just kind of shocked me because I was like, wow, because like Death Note was in my junior high library. Like, we had the first 3 volumes, but I didn't read it until high school. I didn't watch it till high school. But like, I was like, this is a 4th grader.
Yeah.
I had a 3rd grader reading Attack on Titan. Like, I was just seeing shows that I knew, like series that I knew, I read, I watched, but I was like, I'm an adult and I know what goes on in those series, and like, why are y'all reading that? Because I was okay with like Dragon Ball, One Piece, and all of that, but then I sat there and I was like, that's a series that
Well, I mean, like, even like when like anime first hit America with Toonami, Tenchi Muyo was a harem anime. Let's be real, that's what it was. And then, when we were growing, when I was growing,
in my day,
when growing up, we had shows like RoboCop, which was one of the most gratuitous, gory films of all time. That was mainstream. Everyone wanted to go see that. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was super dark. Terminator 2, one of the greatest other movies of all time. That was super gross, and everything that happened there. Like, we would watch these movies because they were on the thing. Like, the parents were too busy, so we had fend for ourselves, and we would just watch whatever was on TV and such. So I mean, I'm not surprised, but it also makes me sad because the kids that are watching the animes are of parents that should know of these things and should know better, and be like, maybe we don't let them watch this. But I mean, like, it's unfortunately, when I was growing up, things were bad, but what they're growing up with is way worse.
Well, because I know I had like a class in like a middle school class. It was filled with anime fans. Like, all of these kids were like a fan of some type of show. Like, they were all asking me questions like, oh, like when like you were our age, like, did you like stream this show? Like, say stream, and I would have to remind them, like, first of all, like, when I was your age, anime was not as accessible as it is now. The only time I could watch it was Toonami. That was the only
Exactly.
time I could watch it was Toonami. I said I could remember watching like Sailor Moon censored, like because when I finally was able to watch Sailor
like the Four
Moon,
Kids Sailor
like
Moon.
the complete
Ooh.
like uncut version of Sailor Moon,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't remember any of this, and that's
Oh.
because it was censored for Toonami a lot, and the
Yeah.
4 Kids dub of Pokemon,
Right.
like because
Exactly.
These donuts
nothing
are
beats
cute.
a jelly-filled donut rice ball.
Yeah.
And then like I know there was like a 4 Kids dub of One Piece.
Yeah.
And
4 Kids dub of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
I mean, like
yeah.
there's a lot of bad stuff in there.
Yeah.
And now they watch it unabashedly. I mean, look, oh God, Full Metal Alchemist. Like seriously, the homunculi scene still troubles me
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah, speaking of what did you say before? Speaking of Sailor Moon, I recently met Terry Hawks, the second voice of Sailor Moon, not to be confused with Tony Hawk, though. Although I did ask her, did anyone ask her if she was related to him before? It's like she said a couple of times.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
is that
But
yeah.
it's crazy, you know, like
It
they're growing up with,
is.
they're catching up with us, and you know, it's like when you have a kid watch Star Wars episode 5 for the first time, and you find out who Luke Skywalker's dad is. It's like we know it's coming, and it breaks their heart every time. But like I think that like parents need to be more mindful of letting them watch anime, because anime is animated because it's not always for kids.
yeah.
No, it's not.
Not.
And that's something that like whenever, because something me and my family do is we have like Sunday fun days. We get like a
There you
bunch of
go.
family friends together, and normally, because like I'm extremely allergic to mosquitoes, and the state
Sure.
I live in has them bad. I can't go outside, so like
Mm.
I stay inside and I keep the TV going for the kids. Like I'm
Right.
put in charge of like the Netflix and stuff, because my family's like, oh yeah, like because she was a substitute teacher, she will know like movies and stuff,
Right.
and she's a fan of animation, so she'll know like what's okay. Also, I'm the one in the family that has the Disney Plus account, so that's the
Yeah.
other reason. But I one time, just because the kids were staying outside, I just put it on to watch it. I put on The Secret World of Arrietty, which
Oh,
is
no.
and, like I put that on
No.
because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put this on, and I did. I put it on. Then the whole group decided that's when they wanted to come in and eat their steaks and bring the
No.
kids in to eat
No.
their steaks. And I'm sitting there going, this is G rated, so we're gonna be okay, but it's an anime. So I know I'm gonna
Yeah.
like, as soon as everybody sat down, the kids, like the one kid that was left at the party sat down and she actually got invested in it, which was cool. My mom comes over and she goes, this is anime, right? And I went, yes, Mom. Is it appropriate? It's G rated. I said, it's G rated.
Dude,
And she's like, okay.
I learned the anime that sort of gave it the bad rep was basically Ninja Scroll. And
yeah.
let's just say Ninja Scroll was basically like, oh, these darn bloody Japanese show their monstrous monsters putting their tentacles up the little
yeah.
of the
Yeah,
women's
there was-
wazoos right there. What the hell is wrong with these godforsaken bastards? And that's basically what they were saying right there. So basically, yes, Ninja Scroll kind of like how to say this did give it the notorious reputation. So that's why it's like if you see your parents confusing everything with Dragon Ball or Pokemon
Yeah.
or stuff like that, it's better to have it that so that way we don't get reminded of like the epidemic right there.
Yeah, it's like there was a
Of-
point I think where like it seemed that like animation our perspective on animation in general has just like changed a lot over time, because there was like, especially with anime, there was something like very stigmatized about how it had to be like either the anime was like either it was marketed towards very young kids, or it was something that was like, oh, it's this adult, like very like grotesque weird thing from Japan or whatever. And like the thing is, I'm very thankful that like we've anime has found an audience with so many like different walks of life and age groups and communities now, because like it shows us that like animation is another medium that can have media in it that resonates like with all different kinds of audiences, and like it doesn't have to be restricted to those demographics.
I think what's funny is like, in the 90s, people were like, oh my God, you watch anime? What's wrong with you? But then 2000s hit when Naruto and Dragon Ball Z was really hitting its stride. Everyone's like all about it. I mean, I meet grown men that have Vegeta tattooed on their thigh.
Yeah.
That will watch anime pump up videos before they go lift.
Mhm.
Just hearing Vegeta just scream at them that you may take my mind, you may take my body, but there's one thing you can't take is my pride.
Oh,
And they go lift ham, they go ham lifting. It's funny, like, everything goes circular. Like, oh, it's so stupid, but then they find the one anime they vibe with and go from there. But yeah, I mean, like, my thing is like, this is gonna fire people up. I don't care if it's dub or sub. Watch what you want.
Thank you.
Be
It's
happy,
like,
bro.
it just gives me an excuse to rewatch it.
Dude,
Yeah, true.
like, if I started in sub, I'm gonna finish it in sub. I started
Amen.
in dub, I'm gonna finish it in
there's
dub.
Mhm.
But that's just me. And get in the chat. PSA, if you're a parent and their kids are watching something cartoon or whatever, do your research before you let them watch it all the way, because it can go sideways real quick.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, like because I had like somebody who worked at one of the schools that I subbed for. I guess word got around that, oh yeah, no, there's this sub that subs for the district that loves anime. The kids love her. Like blah blah blah. She approached me when I was like on lunch duty. She approached me and was like, hey, like, don't take this the wrong way, but are you the anime sub? And I went, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm the anime sub. And she's like, okay, cool. So my son and I are wanting to start watching anime together. And I was like, okay. She's like, I don't know where to start though. I don't know what's appropriate. I don't know. She's like, I did some research and I know there's some shows out there that are like kind of dark. And I was like, okay, so how old is your son? Like, I immediately was like asking like the very important questions, so I knew what to recommend. I was like, how old is your son? How long do you want it? Like, just general questions. And she was like, oh, he's about 12. We want something that we could watch like for a couple of seasons or so. And I was like, okay, I recommend Naruto.
There you go.
Yeah, I immediately handed her Naruto. I said, I recommend Naruto. I said, this is a great show with great lessons, great characters. I said, y'all will really get into this one. I recommend One Piece. I said, it is really long. It's still going, but it's another great one with great story, great characters, great morals. Dragon Ball. Like, I gave her the really big ones because I was like, these are the ones I recommend. And then I was like trying to think of ones that became big very recently that I think would be appropriate. And one I gave was My Hero Academia. Like, I was kind of like, if he likes superheroes, I said My Hero Academia. That's a really good one. And then I said, if y'all are then wanting to kind of branch out, at the time I had only seen a few episodes, but a lot of my friends were saying like that their students were watching it. I said Demon Slayer. I said, if y'all want to branch out a little more, like, try Demon Slayer. And then when I subbed my last year, because I then got the job that I have now, she approached me. She goes, oh, we're already like halfway through Naruto. Like, we love it. And like, she was like all into it and stuff. And I was like, wow, I actually did something good for once. I was just happy that like she asked somebody who knew before just kind of jumping in, because I was like, this could go one way or the other if you didn't ask me. Because I was like, ask somebody who knows before, or even like post on your Facebook and have it get shared around, like, hey, can somebody help me find somebody who knows about this genre, who can tell us where to start and stuff. And then like one of my coworkers, he heard through my GM that I like anime, and this dude is like the countryest person I know. It's cowboy hats and cowboy boots every day.
You like anime, Missy?
Oh yeah, no, he's a huge Dragon Ball fan. He
Oh,
Yeah, of
loves
course he is.
Dragon Ball. Like he came over, he was all secretive about it too. He was like, Kaylee, come here. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I hear you like anime. And I went, yeah. And he goes, hey, we just finished Dragon Ball, my son and I. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I love Vegeta, man. I was like, okay, cool.
man.
I was like, all right, I could actually talk. I was like, am I about to get bullied in my own workplace?
Oh god.
Because
No.
I keep that I'm an anime fan on the down low at work. So I was like,
Yeah.
how did you know?
Yeah, yes, how says. I think it's just the stigma from fans. So it's like obviously just separate that from that, and we should be good. Stay off of Twitter and Reddit. Don't go
Yeah.
don't go to those sites. It's like
Scarlett,
it's like
what was your first anime?
Oh.
Do you remember?
I think it honestly when you were
Was it Hamtaro?
when you were talking about Arietti, I think that was actually my favorite my first one
Nice.
like that got
Really?
me into, of course, like all the Hayao Miyazaki works and things like that. And then when I I was a bit of a chronically online child, as you would call it, so I learned about like the anime that I probably shouldn't have learned about pretty quickly, and like in terms of Cowboy Bebop specifically, which was a little bit, the themes in that are a little bit maybe too depressing for my mind to comprehend at that time.
It's one of my favorite shows though of all time.
It's my favorite
It's
show of all
solid.
time for sure.
So it's my second favorite show.
Yeah.
fun fact, Steve Bloom is actually married to Mary Elizabeth Glenn.
Yes.
He
And
is.
then it's like, so it's like, and she's also a director as well. So it's like, you not only love a woman that can kick your ass, but you also love a woman who can make you sleep on the couch if you mess up the line.
Oh my gosh, I'm possibly gonna get the opportunity to meet Steve Bloom and Wendy Lee at SAC Anime coming up.
There you
Oh,
go.
nice.
So excited
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, I met Wendy Lee before. She was very nice.
Yeah,
I
she-
met-
She actually taught the class before
Yeah, pretty recently, right? One of our
yeah, fairly recent.
Like a
Yeah.
month ago.
Yeah, I think the last workshop I took with Strawberry Hill before I got way too busy to do them, since I'm now just coming back, was with Wendy Lee, and it was so much fun. I think it was over JRPG voice acting, so like
Yes.
Japanese role playing game voice acting. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
What
But-
about you, Kaylee? What was your first?
Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was my
Sailor
first
Moon.
because I 90s kid. Every Saturday, waking up to see what Sailor Moon was going to get into. So Tuxedo Mask was the first crush I ever
Oh.
had growing up.
Nice.
That guy,
Um,
man.
But I
He's
also
a
got to
gem.
see like the rise of Pokemon as well. So those two
Right.
were like my
Yeah.
first ones. But I didn't learn the term until junior high. So I didn't learn that they were technically called anime. I just thought they were these really cool cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, technically they are. What about you, JC? What was your first?
My first few animes would have to be yeah, it's like for example, I saw the rise of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, and then I got to see Naruto, then a little bit of Bleach, but I learned to appreciate Bleach a lot later, Dragon Ball Z, and then I did appreciate seeing what was that other one I was thinking of right there? It almost slipped my mind. I am aware that they put Yu Yu Hakusho there as well. I loved Yu Yu Hakusho.
Hakusho.
choice.
It's a
And
good.
then-
It's so good.
Fun fact, it's from the same creator of Hunter x Hunter, and he is married to the creator of Sailor Moon as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's even lots of nods and references in those shows. And then I remember I did watch some Gundams growing up, and I did watch Mega Man NT. I love Mega Man NT. It was one of my favorite adaptations of the game because I remember loving the game so much when I was younger. I'm glad they brought it back for Switch and Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then so far those were the animes I grew up with as well. And then I watched some of the older animes that my dad liked, such as Mazinger or Mazinkaiser, and then Devilman as well. I did manage to watch some of them. Some of them had Spanish subs and dubs, and then some of them had their regular English dubs, and they were pretty nice. It's like it gave me a bigger appreciation for them as well. It was only until later when I got into Attack on Titan, because I got into Attack on Titan. It was only later until I got into those other animes. But Bleach was one of my favorite ones. It reminded me of Inuyasha and Yu Yu Hakusho at the same time, right there.
Yeah.
I
And
watched the speech that the Hollow makes to Ichigo about the difference between being the horse and the king a lot. I listen to that when I just want to just really deeply focus on things. Who's in control?
Oh
Is
yeah.
it my anxiety or is it me? It's such a wonderful, like, that's one thing that, like, I think people don't understand, like how much power can come from an animated show like that. And
Oh yeah.
we're slowly,
Yeah.
and if I can be a part of that, I'm good.
Oh yeah, like I feel like a lot of some of the really big like anime titles out there, like a lot of people I know like a lot of celebrities, a lot of writers, like a lot of them say, "Oh, I was inspired by like this anime for
Yeah.
this thing." And you then really sit there and really think about it like, "Oh wow, like really?" Cuz I know a lot of people talk about the film Black Swan, like how that was
Yes.
like a huge thing. Perfect Blue inspired that.
Yeah.
And I never got to see Perfect Blue until I was in college. I saw Black Swan when it came out and I was like, "Oh wow, like that was a, you know, a cool movie. It was a movie, it was a thing." And then I saw Perfect Blue and went, "Wait a minute, hold on. I'm seeing some similarities here." And that's when I did some research and found out that, or I don't know how true it is, but a lot of people are saying that the director of Black Swan originally was intending to do a live action Perfect Blue, but then decided to be inspired by it instead and do a similar story, and it became Black Swan. But I know like Madonna has done like a lot of nods to Perfect Blue. Requiem for a Dream had some nods to
Yes.
Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
So anime is inspiring a lot of modern day like American culture, and people are not catching
Immensely.
it like immensely. Like, and a lot of people are not catching it unless you really pay attention. Um,
I think that's kind of like the whole thing about being an artist, you know.
Yeah.
Good, what did Picasso say? No,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Picasso. You said, good artists copy, great artists steal.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, you know, every story has been told, unfortunately, but it's how it happens. Like, you don't watch Star Wars Episode 3 to figure out what happens. You watch to see how it happens. How does he go from the light side to the dark side?
And speaking speaking of that, wait, you basically said what did you said before?
Okay, so the
No, no,
old
no, no.
adage about
No,
artists.
Kylie.
oh, about like how modern day American
Yeah.
culture
Oh,
is taking inspiration from anime.
yes, because I was about to say, like, if you listen to one Biggie Smalls song where it says it was all a dream, it's a reference to Cowboy Bebop right
Yep.
there. So
Yes.
basically, when you hear the song Juicy, it's all a dream. He references Spike Spiegel right there,
Mhm.
his speech when he's about to get gunned down, or
Yeah.
when he's falling to death.
Because Cowboy Bebop to this day, like, is like one of my favorite shows, and it's like the show I recommend to a lot of my friends who are anime watchers who have never seen it. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's a
how
gateway.
exactly. I'm like, how can you say you like anime and you've never heard of one of the goats? Like, I'm like, hold up, stop what you're doing, sit down and watch it. And the last con I went to of 2024, it was Nostalgia Con in Houston. One of my friends brought his Nintendo Switch that had Crunchyroll on it, and one
Nice.
night I told him and my ex, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna take a break for." I think we were watching Frieren at the time. I said, "We're gonna take a break," because I found out that they had never seen Cowboy Bebop. I said, "We're taking a break from Frieren, and we're gonna watch the first 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop because I want you guys to see how cool of a show this is."
Yeah.
And we sat there and we watched the first 2 episodes, and my ex was like, you know, like, it's whatever. But my friend who brought the Nintendo Switch, he started watching it after that.
Yeah.
Because then the next con that we went to, he goes, "Oh, by the way, like, I watched more of Cowboy Bebop. I'm at Jupiter Jazz Part 1. I was like, "Oh my God, you're like at the best like part of the show." And he said like the storytelling's kind of all over the place, but he goes, you kind of ignore it when you listen to the music and what the characters are saying. And I had to ask him like what he thought, because my favorite episode is episode 5, Ballad of Fallen Angels. That's my favorite episode of all time. It's a good one. And I had to ask him, I was like, what'd you think of Ballad of Fallen Angels? Wasn't that such a good episode? And he said that's where he started getting confused, because they threw in all the stuff about the syndicate and everything. But he said he ignored it because I guess Vicious came off as this like very intimidating villain type character. Like he just went in guns a-blazing in the first 5 seconds of that episode. And then he gets to the church scene and the stained glass, and he immediately knew why I loved that episode from that like moment right there. And he said, I meant to text you after I watched it, but then I forgot because I went straight to the next episode. But he fell in love with it. And I don't know if he finished it, but he started watching it right after I showed it to him. He started watching it.
Yeah, it's amazing that shows like that, especially with Cowboy Bebop, that was so much like...
Scarlet, can't hear you.
Oh.
Try again.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, I think I wasn't speaking into the mic. Oh, I think someone says the stream is frozen as well. Oh gosh.
No.
Okay. I'll try to see if I can fix that. But one thing that I think is really admirable about Cowboy Bebop is like, even if it's like, it was also a hodgepodge of like a whole bunch of various different influences from like culture from a whole bunch of different communities, and the fact that people like people saw their stories in Cowboy Bebop and then went on to tell them, being inspired by that as well, is like really amazing.
Speaking of that, there's Raj. Hey, Raj.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Wait, let's ask Raj this question.
Oh.
I have to ask him the question.
Oh,
is it true?
Raj, I think someone has a question.
Hey guys.
I am aware that in Cowboy Bebop there is 2 references to Biggie Smalls. There's a character called Pixaro, who is based on Biggie Smalls, and then when Spike Spiegel says it's all a dream, it's a reference to the 1994 song by Biggie Smalls called Juicy. Is it true, or has the creator not confirmed that? Because I know that he confirmed one of them.
Scarlet is a complete expert on this. You know that? I'm not joking. Scarlet is Scarlet is a complete expert on this stuff. Scarlet, what's your take on this?
Oh, that is honestly that is one that I haven't heard before, but I know that like not like I was saying, like not only has Cowboy Bebop taken from like those influences of like jazz and bebop and even hip hop, but also like I've noticed that the hip hop community in turn has also like been especially one of the anime communities that has like like Cowboy Bebop is something that's really celebrated in that community, and there are even like hip hop albums that are like themed after it as well, and have like the voice actors like participating in their creation and all sorts of stuff like that.
Logic's album has Steve Bloom, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has Steve.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
There's this crazy community. Yeah, there's this crazy the nerd rapper community. If you guys have listened to any of these people like Richie Branson and Mega Ran, and I've worked with both of them before, and it's this huge community that does exactly I guess mashups of anime songs, right? And like they call themselves nerd rappers. So
yeah, and like being
no, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like anything by Watanabe, the creator of Cowboy Bebop, brings some form of like music to everything that he touches, like all of his shows. I'm a huge fan of his work because of this mixed match of genres and how it inspires other people that are of different genres. I know there's like several tribute albums to Cowboy Bebop. Heck, there's like a whole tribute band to that show, and I would love to see them live one day. They just play the songs live. And...
I'm actually the singer for that band.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I went to go see the Bebop Bounty Big Band recently, and it was absolutely mind-blowing.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I've been wanting to see you guys for a long
You
time.
should come. I was shocked. All the shows sold out all over both coasts and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
it was,
the last time you guys were in Houston, it was on a weekend. I knew I could get get off of work to go, and it sold out before I could get
Yeah.
tickets.
Yeah,
And I was so upset.
I was surprised. I actually invited Vincent to come to the show in New
Yes, you
York.
did.
Remember? But and here too, I invited a bunch of friends thinking that okay, they could get tickets. I could get complimentary tickets, but it sold out almost immediately. I just still am shocked that people are still, after all these years, still so interested in the soundtrack. Right? It's crazy.
Oh yeah. I have the soundtrack like favorited on my Spotify. That's how much I love the music in that show. But even like some of his other shows like Samurai Champloo and Kids on the Slope, which is a very niche one. But I love that show. And I need to watch his new one that he has out right now. But
Lazarus.
yeah, Lazarus. I need to watch that.
Yeah.
But I'm always just telling people, like, if you want to check out anything that's like not the norm for anime but has something for everybody, I'm always recommending Watanabe's work, and I always tell them to start with Cowboy Bebop and work your way from there. Check out everything that he has done, because everything he's done is just amazing.
Yeah.
So what's interesting, the other day I found out, was the Wu-Tang Clan were all about Shaolin culture, and they put so much philosophy into their works that people who listen to them and then listen to Shakespeare can follow it, because there's layers to it. And Cowboy Bebop has layers to it about the human condition. That's one reason why I love it. It's thought-provoking. Trigun as well. Every single monologue he does is about humanity. And so I think that's the beautiful opportunity that anime people have, is that you can have this really cool, crazy adventure, but then you have this moment of like introspection that leaves you wondering, scratching your head. What does it mean to be in space by yourself? What does that do to a person? What does it mean to have this immense loneliness and finding community? And it's just, that's the beauty that I really enjoy about anime. And that's why I want to do this stuff, to be a part of that, so that I can be at a booth one day and a kid comes up to me and says, hey man, your scene at season 2 episode blah 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 really hit home for me and helped me in a really tough time. That's why it's such a privilege to be able to do this type of stuff. Wow. I think that's like, I think it's cool that we talk about this stuff, but we can't just be fans. We got to actually put forth the effort so we can do this for the fans, for other workers. And what I love about voice actors in general is that if you can't do a job, we give it to somebody else. Yeah. Go ahead. This is my wheelhouse. So like I can talk for hours, but just Raj, please say what you're going to say. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say I've heard that so many times. It's all over the country playing with this band. I've heard that after shows. Like, it's just kind of like a reoccurring theme that keeps coming back, and it's surprised. And then you just said it just now. It's like, oh my God, I've heard so many people say that. I had some people in Florida at our last show, and this one guy, I came out, we were packing up the bus, and he was crying on the curb, and I was like, what's going on, man? And then he said exactly what you said. And it was like, it's kind of like emotional. The anime is an emotional experience for people. It's not just a show. It's some kind of emotional connection that people draw to it. So it's a lifelong thing. So that's really, very interesting.
I mean, I'll open and admit, Kung Fu Panda 2 taught me how to forgive.
Yeah.
I am not shitting you. Like, my oldest bully that I grew up with was my dad. I actually forgave him this year because of Kung Fu Panda 2.
Wow.
It took me 3 years of watching that film, but I finally was like, okay.
Wow.
What this, and as Iro said, what is it? Anger is a poison that you take hoping that will kill your enemy, that only poisons yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Something like that.
Yep.
I mean,
So
that's
powerful.
we have the opportunity to be a part of that,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so important that this works.
Oh yeah. Well, like my favorite anime of all time is Wolf's Rain. So like my second favorite is Cowboy Bebop, and my first is Wolf's Rain. That's like my ultimate favorite anime of all time. And I remember the first time I watched it, I was 13 years old, and I felt like I was too young to understand what this journey that these wolves, that these characters went on, like what it actually meant. And over the years of watching it over and over and over again, knowing every single monologue, every single line by heart, knowing who played who, I then finally realized what that journey actually meant. They were part of something important, and they had to be there to see it.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope to achieve with my voice acting. Is I would love to be a part of something that then goes on to be just as important, and you have to be there to witness it. And I also want to do that, like, for fans of anime, because like I came from a generation where we got bullied for it. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
me
if you liked
too.
anime, you got bullied for it.
Oh,
And-
absolutely, every day.
Yeah, and meeting some of the generation from my time as a substitute teacher that are watching anime now and like are embracing it, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to be part of something that when these kids get older, they can say like, oh, like this show is going to go on to be just as important to the next generation as it is for the
Right.
next generation.
Yeah. And-
This show taught me morals.
Yeah.
This show taught me how to be a friend. This show taught me how to be a parent.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and that's what I like right there with these sort of shows. It becomes more grounded with someone's emotions right there, and that's really what I liked right there. It's like I see a lot of the morals I learned in Star Wars and then in Pokemon, but Digimon, I feel like compared to Pokemon, it teaches you how to grow with you,
Exactly.
and that's one of the things I liked about it. And fun fact, Joshua Seth was in Wolf's Rain as well.
He was,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's like he actually gets happy when someone notices him for Wolf's Rain
Wolf's
because he
Rain.
feels like it's underrated.
When I officially got to meet him in person, because I did my workshop with him through Strawberry Hill, and knowing that he was Hige and Wolf's Rain. And at the time when I started going to conventions, I was on a journey, because something people don't know is that Wolf's Rain had a 2-volume manga adaptation. And I have them. They're no longer in print. As far as I know, they're no longer in print. And I have them. And I have
Wow.
been fortunate enough to get them signed so far by Crispin Freeman, Johnny on Bosch, Steve Blum, and the voice actress for Cher. I keep forgetting her name, but she's signed one of them as well. And I told myself I'm probably not going to get to meet everybody who's worked on this show, but if I can meet just a couple of people,
You
that's
met one more person tonight. I worked on that show too.
Oh, wow.
I sang,
What?
I sing "Strangers" off of Wolf's Rain. So,
oh my god,
so
dude,
that's
thank
another-
you, thank
you're gonna
you.
break
I
Kaylee's
was like,
brain,
did you-
guys.
Oh my
Seriously.
God.
Did you set me
You're
up for
doing
that? I
too
was like,
much.
did you set me up for that? I was like,
Yeah, nope, didn't real. Thank you.
Breathe,
I
Kaylee.
I'm
breathe.
trying, but
That's funny.
so when I finally got to meet when I finally realized I was going to get to meet Joshua Seth in person, I was like, I got to take one of the volumes to get signed. I couldn't find both of them, but I found one of them. And I walked up to his table and he looked at that and he was like, no freaking way. He was like
Nice.
so shocked by that. He goes, there was a manga. He was like flipping through it and he was like, oh my gosh. Like he was so
Wow.
shocked by that. And I had him sign with everybody else. And I just was like, I even told him, I was like, I'm on a journey to like meet everybody who worked on this and have them sign the manga. And he was like, oh wow, that is so cool. Even though like
how far
on
are
my
you
wall,
from Chicago?
oh, I'm in Texas.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. So.
Yeah,
You might have
I'm
to
in
mail it.
Texas. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to probably mail it. I'm in the process of moving into a house, so all of my manga, including the volumes, are packed up. So like one of these days though. And like I have on my wall, I have Blue and I have Quint Yaiden's autographs
Wow.
on my wall, but that show is just I recommend it to so many people and I'm like, you guys, it's so good. And I always tell them, get past episode 5. I promise it gets better. Get past episode 5. But like all the people that I've met through that show, every time I hand the volume over, they're shocked by it because they didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Hey,
Yeah.
Scarlett, how are we on time?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I think like we've been like so passionately talking about this stuff. We've gone over an hour more than we usually do, like for a community stream.
Good.
We were having a really good discussion, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you all so much for joining this. I'm very thankful for everyone who's participating like in this voice acting community because like we were saying, like we're like the stories that we learned from this media, like that we were fans of, we're now like where like I guess we're telling the life experiences that we learned from that now in our characters, and we're gonna like we thank you for like passing on these stories to newer generations and being a part of that. I'm very thankful for this community and to have met all of you through this community stream. Yeah, I wish you all the best day ever. Y'all are amazing, and I'm definitely gonna like be sure to follow all y'all on social media and check out your stuff, and be sure all the viewers do that too. I put the links in the chat for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you
an
so
honor
much,
to meet you
guys.
all.
And then also, Scarlett, if you need to practice Japanese, I'm more than happy to help because like I talked to Raj, like, you know, if I could practice with him as well, so that way when I prepare.
Yeah, thank you so much. That would be amazing.
Oh,
Alright.
and chat, don't forget to check us out at the next Voices and Choices Dungeons and Dragons workshop so you can see your favorite voice actors doing their thing in their own special way.
Yes. Please check that out.
Yes.
It's a very fun watch, and if you are a member, you get to participate in it as well.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Thank you again, everyone. I hope to
Thank you.
see you in
Thanks for having
maybe in a
us.
community
you.
stream in the future
Matane.
too. Bye. Feel like I end the stream about now.
Hey guys, thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.